What do the Pacers need to do to beat the Thunder? Because at this point, we know the Pacers are probably going to make it to the finals. The Knicks had a great run. They beat the defending champs, came back 20 twice, three times if you count the one time against the Pacers. But what do they need to do now to beat the Thunder? And I've got their Eastern Conference final stats and their Western Conference final stats to compare. But what do you guys think they need to do to beat the Thunder?
Pray.
Yeah.
Uh, I think pray and then
And
when they
then
have to play the game. Yeah, I mean, I think everyone's gonna pick the Thunder. I get why. I would pick the Thunder. What do they have to do? It's gonna have to be on the defensive end. They're gonna have to make it. I don't know, man. It's gonna have to be the Thunder having off night after off night. And I guess the way to do that is to just pick out one or two guys you're going to focus on and hope the other guys miss. So if that's like, we're only going to really focus on Shea and Jalen. And if everyone else makes 15 threes, we die. But I think they just have to like try to shut down, pick one or two guys you're going to shut down, and then that's it. And then just hope everyone else misses. I feel like that's the way to do it. But I don't know. You think they have a chance?
I think they've got a decent chance. Before the playoffs even started, I didn't even think they would make it this far. But looking back on them last year, I know I said that it was like a Cinderella run because they went against all injured teams and then got destroyed by the Celtics. But I've got no excuse this year. Like they have shown time and time again why they should be there. Um, I don't know if they have a strong chance against the Thunder, but I also didn't think they had a strong chance against the Knicks. So anything could really happen. But I agree with you. I think they'd have to shut down one or two people and not get shut down by a few people. Because you can have Shea go off for 40 with 30 free throws. But if you're getting locked up by Caruso or Chet is shutting down Siakam, like you're just out of luck. But yeah, I mean, they've got a decent chance. Looking at their stats though from just the conference finals, it's a lot closer in certain areas than I thought it would be. And there's certain areas where I think the Thunder are slightly at an advantage against the Pacers.
Oh. I think Halliburton's showing that he's better than people thought, or at least than some people thought. He's definitely not. He should not be called overrated. He was voted most overrated. He's not overrated. That triple double, 30, what was it? 35, 15, 10 against a good defense. Like he's good. Um,
Hmm.
and so I think, they have a star on their team. Siakam's a little bit of an X factor. I could see he's a borderline star and he has finals experience. I could see him stepping up a little bit more than maybe some of the Thunder young guys, like as the
Yeah.
second option. So that could be something to watch. Is Siakam maybe take like a step up and kind of in the finals? He had that game where he scored 39. Like he might, if he does that kind of thing, a couple games could get interesting.
Yeah. Question is, does the Pacers bench go deep enough to fight off against their bench? Because the Thunder bench on paper looks kind of mid, just a little bit. But then you look at the games and you see the games and you realize their bench is probably just as important as their starting five. So do the Pacers have what it takes on the bench alone to go against theirs?
Uh, as someone who watched 7 games of the OKC bench, no, I think the Pacers bench doesn't really stand a chance. Um, I think the Pacers play a really good game that's really quick, and that it's very equal. Like you don't feel like, I mean, yes, they have the stars, but and you have Halliburton and Siakam, but it feels like a very well-rounded team, and that's also kind of how OKC feels. Like you take Shea out of that team, and they're still what were they plus 10 or like 110 offensive rating, so like they're not a one-trick pony, and I think they're both such a similar team, and OKC's just another level above that. So
Going to these stats real quick. If we look at turnovers first for the Thunder just in the conference finals, they've got 52 turnovers, and the Pacers have 42 turnovers. A 10 turnover difference is pretty huge considering they've played the same amount of games.
mm-hmm.
But do you think turnovers are going to be the key factor in their matchup? Because you've got Caruso that can lock up. You've got Chet that'll probably get a few blocks. Shea will probably get a few steals. And then you've got the same for the Pacers. You got Siakam. You got Halliburton will get some steals, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So how do you think the defense and the turnover ratio for each team is going to affect that final series?
I think it's super, super, super important for Indiana. Um, Halliburton is probably. I feel like I don't have the stat for this, but I assume like, what is it? Assist to turnover ratio. He's probably like the best or one of the best for sure.
44-6.
Yeah, which is crazy. And so I think like when you're the underdog, you cannot give away any possessions. So I do think that is something like if they were a high turnover team, I feel like they have no chance. But the fact that their best player like never almost never turns it over, um they can like maximize every possession. I think it matters a lot for them. I think OKC just has more room for error. But that is a pretty good sign for Indiana, and they don't have a lot of good signs. I think that is actually one of them. That's a good point to bring up.
I think the OKC's mental toughness, I don't know is it's not a tangible thing, but I don't think it's as solid as Indiana's. Like to have the comebacks that they do proves that they really don't give up, and to go against a team that blew your doors off the year before and beat them shows them it's like when David beat Goliath, right? Like if David knew that he could always beat Goliath, then I feel like it kind of balances it out a little bit more, if that makes sense. Like such a mentality about, oh man, these guys are so much better than I am. If you're like, are they? I just need to not turn the ball over. We got the same hoop. We play with the same basketball. I feel like the the OKC Thunder, they're young. They might start turning the ball over a little bit, and maybe the Pacers can capitalize.
They say you live and die by the three, as we've been able to tell in the East at the very least.
Yeah.
The Celtics, one of the worst shooting performances ever. The Pacers are shooting 37%, while the Thunder are shooting also 37%. So do you think I don't want to say old school approach to the game is going to make for a closer series, but do you think that they're not necessarily the lack of 3-point shooting, but the similarities in 3-point shooting is going to make it a closer series, or do you think that's not even really a factor?
I feel like both teams aren't necessarily a live and die by the three team. Like I think I don't remember the numbers, but I think OKC was 12th and the Pacers were like 16, something like that. You'll have to fact check me on that. On percentage or like volume 3-point shooting, and they both have beaten teams that were high in that percentage. Um, and I think that this old school. I think it's good for basketball in the future to see teams like the Pacers and OKC with fundamentals and just not playing Celtic basketball. Because honestly, if I had to watch a finals where with the Celtics shooting 65 threes a game, I wouldn't watch a single game. Sorry.
Even if it was the Nuggets?
Especially if it was the Nuggets.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's great for the game. I don't want to ever hear about how like mid range isn't important anymore because it's like I don't know why I feel like they come to these conclusions based on regular season and it's like in the playoffs you just gotta score when you can and I don't know like there's so many big shots that are mid range shots in the playoffs like
Hmm.
Brunson going mid range, Halvern I saw some mid range even though he's doesn't take a lot of them. Shea constantly it's like it's different. And I think I do think it's good for the league to show that like in the playoff basketball, you need to be well rounded. You can't just do these constant threes. Like I feel like the Celtics winning made people think, uh oh, I guess that's the only way to win, but I don't want to call that a fluke, but it's like the Celtics might have had the best team without playing that way. Like I wonder if playing that way actually helped them or they just like played that way and won. Not they won because they played that way. Like they just had a great team.
Hmm.
They probably didn't have to do all that 3-point shooting to win. So I
Yeah.
think this is really good for NBA. I agree with Caleb.
I don't
Yep.
think it's a coincidence that the highest volume of 3-point shooting was the season after the Celtics won by doing that. So I
Hmm.
agree.
Yep. Yeah. I don't know. I think this will be an interesting series with the whole Shea foul merchant thing, though. I've been seeing a lot of videos recently about kind of defending him, and after watching him, kind of makes sense. But what they're saying is Shea really a foul merchant just because he has a higher amount? Let me rephrase that. Their defense was Shea drives more, which is why he gets more calls. Whereas people that you wouldn't call a foul merchant stop driving when they get the fouls. So just because Shea keeps driving, does that make him a foul merchant, or does that just make him a high IQ player?
Uh, I mean, I think it's. I don't think it's. I think he's a high IQ player for sure. I don't blame him for like if you're getting the calls, keep doing it. Like I don't. I think it's more of like a NBA problem than a Shea problem. Like I do think it's annoying what he does sometimes, but like at the same time, the NBA needs to change how they ref it. Then like I don't like why he's trying to win. Is he a foul merchant? I mean, he definitely like. I mean, Caleb, you could probably talk more about this because you saw every game and you watched more minutes of him against the Nuggets. I mean, does it feel for me? I wasn't sure if it's that he's a foul merchant or he's just getting more calls than other people on the same types of plays, and so that's
That's what it
different.
is.
So yeah, so I don't know, Caleb. You could probably talk more
Oh,
about this.
I've watched plenty. I watched hours of this. Yeah, no, the issue that I had with it was Jokic would get held, like, and he'd have guys hold, like, there's pictures of a guy holding each one of his arms on an inbound pass. Plenty of those. And the problem isn't, oh, Shea gets those calls. Yeah, they don't feel like playoff calls. I'm going to state that in the beginning. I've watched a lot of playoff basketball, and it always felt like just, oh man, you could. I remember the Miami Heat Nuggets finals. Like I felt like there was literally physical assault happening on that court, and nothing was getting called. And it was frustrating because you're like, well, that was a foul. And then you'd watch Aaron Gordon like hack Jimmy Butler, and you're like, okay, well, all right. The problem is, like Seth was saying, is that it's not a two-way street. Like Jaden McDaniels barely touches him, and he gets a foul, and then Edwards is getting hacked by two guys going up, and there's nothing called. So it feels like they're forming a narrative, or and they're helping a team that doesn't need it. And I think that's where a lot of
Hmm.
the frustration comes. Is they're the number one seed. They have the highest. What did they say? The biggest discrepancy in the net rating of all time. Like this team doesn't need your help. They're probably going to win. So why are you helping them? And why are you helping this character? It feels like a character player. It feels like it's a little Freudian slip there.
Yeah, yeah.
It feels like they want him to win and they want the MVP to look better. And so it's like they're just giving it, but it's doing the opposite. Like he's super good. He deserved it. He doesn't need these calls though.
Yeah, there's no consistency on the reffing part, but I feel like that's how it is for majority of the NBA refs at least. Like I'm pretty sure I've seen a couple regular season and playoff games where the refs looked at each other like, I didn't see anything. Why did you call that? But they just let it slide or whatever. But no, I agree. The reason I bring that up is, do you feel like in the finals they're gonna be a little less or more lenient on the foul calls, or are they gonna pretty much be the exact same? Shea's still gonna average like 10 free throws a game.
I think it's going to be the same. I think they're settling into the bit and they're just going to go with it. Like they don't want the Pacers to win. They want the OKC dynasty, which is cool, and I'm here for it. It's better than the Wolves dynasty. Uh, but yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it changing. There's no way that they're gonna let it 3 rounds and then go, oh, well, it's the finals, because then there'd be a contrast, and we could see it.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it'll change much. I think the only thing is I think Carlisle's a really, really good coach, and he might, having so much footage to look at from 3 rounds, like he might figure out a way or to kind of mitigate some of those fouls, or I don't know. I trust Carlisle to come up with something. I think he's really underrated as a coach. Like we forget he took that Dirk team through like the gauntlet in 2011. Like it's crazy, and then like no one talked about him anymore. I was like, all right, whatever.
That's the
Uh,
craziest ring run ever. Came
yeah,
from
and
the
now he's doing it again. And so I don't know. I think if anyone's gonna figure out Shea a little bit, he might figure him out a little bit. So I'm really curious what his strategy is for him. So I don't think the refs will be different, but I think it might look a little different how he's defended in the
yeah.
Yeah.
I
If
think we
you
can. Oh,
go ahead.
I think we can officially say OKC's going because it's 61-30 at
Oh
halftime.
yeah. Yeah, no. Yeah.
um yeah, why don't we what do the Wolves do after this? What is it that they can't figure out? They had Towns, they have Randall. They literally this is the same exact result. It wasn't it 4-1 last. So it's like they
Mhm.
make it to the conference finals, they look great and they explode. Like
And
what is
choked.
it and
He
what can they
choked
do?
today. He straight
And
up just
choked
choked.
last game too. And
Yeah, he's
Randall only ended up with like 5 points, and Ant only had like 15.
Yeah.
I saw an Instagram comment that said, Julius Randle only scored 5 more points than my grandma, and she's dead.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's like, are they just destined to not like? How much do they need to get over the hump? Like,
They
how
have a
far
good
up?
enough team. They don't need anything else. That team is solid.
Do they get rid of Rudy Gobert and possibly Julius Randle?
I think they're kind of stuck with Gobert just because of how big his contract is.
Yeah,
Randall, yeah, I just don't. It's like they don't have that much flexibility. I don't know. They need another point guard. Conley's definitely
he's done.
old now. Like he's, I think he'd be a good backup, but I think they need something else there. But I don't know like how much they can afford and who. But I think like a really good starting point guard would do something for them. Like they and like get him some easier shots, get Randall some easier shots, maybe. I don't know.
Do you think, just throwing this out there, Alonzo Ball trade for the Timberwolves would help them or no?
I love how Lonzo plays. He's just never healthy. Like I think it would
Yeah.
help them. It'd be like the Bulls. They would look so good for half the year, and then it'd be like, oh darn, his knee. Like it's just I
Yeah,
hate saying that because I really like how he plays. I think he's really good, but I think it might be worth the risk. That's a good. I don't know. It's interesting. There might be another Ball brother who's on the trade block at some point, though. I just have a feeling.
I don't know if he gets traded from the Hornets though.
Yeah, I don't
Unless
know.
he requests a trade, I don't see
I
them
don't know.
trading him, which is very unfortunate because he is a fun player to watch.
I don't know if the world could handle LaMelo Ant locker room. LaMelo Ant Gobert.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
You got
That'd be good
Dorsberg.
for Twitter.
Germany and France don't like each other very much. I was like, what?
What?
I
Yeah.
don't know. Do you think the
Yeah.
Wolves like how much do they need? Like how far off are they? I'm saying at least a really good point guard.
Yeah, I think they need one more guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I They need Ant to be more consistent in the playoffs, and they definitely probably just need a good starting point guard, like someone that can handle the ball every once in a while, so Ant doesn't have to, but someone that's not Julius Randle. You know what I mean? Because Julius Randle, I'm sure he's got 14 turnovers in the 4 games that they've played so far.
He's four
I feel
today.
like so that's 18. That's more than the entire. That's more than everybody else on the Timberwolves. More than anybody on the Thunder, and just for shits and gigs, more than the Pacers, and if I had to guess, more than anyone on the Knicks, even Jalen Brunson, who's got 16.
And this is what we expected though, right? Like Julius Randle is known for not really doing it in the
Disappearing?
playoffs.
Yeah,
So this doesn't
Yeah.
surprise me. Yeah, I just was kind of surprised how long it took, which is
yeah.
more of a testament to their opponents, I think, than anything else.
That that begs the question though. At this point, did either team really win the trade? Because they're in the same position in the or in the conference finals.
Yeah.
But granted, Cat had a great year,
Yeah.
great playoff run. Randall didn't. But again, they're in the same position, both down 3-1. Well, the Timberwolves lost, but
Yeah, Timberwolves lost.
but
65-32 at halftime. They're done.
yeah, they're at the same point in the conference finals. So can we really say either team won the trade?
I think Cat's ceiling is higher with this team. I think
Hmm.
Randall, and then Randall's older too, correct?
Little bit. Just a
He's
Yeah,
year or
like a
two.
year or
couple
two.
couple of years, yeah.
Yeah.
So but I'm also viewers. I'm biased. I'm not a big Randall fan. I think he's really good, but I've never like his consistency bothers me and his playoff performance bothers me, and but I think Cat provides more spacing than Randall does because you
Yeah.
have to acknowledge a big man that's shooting the three. And if he ever decides that he wants to play like a big man, whew, look out.
As long as he doesn't recreate that DeMarcus Cousins picture, we'll be fine.
There we go.
Yeah. I think the Knicks are a little bit better than they were last year. Even if they're in the same position as the Wolves. Like I don't know. I think that they're a little more dangerous. Like I think you replace Cat with Randall this year and they I don't know, it just doesn't seem like I saw Cat score 20 in the fourth and like I think he can and yeah, like
Take
Caleb said
over.
the spacing for Brunson, like I think he's a little bit better. I don't know if I think it's like the Wolves kind of had to make that trade. It was something with money, right? Like they couldn't pay Towns anymore or something. So I guess they needed to do it. I don't know. They both teams need something else, but I feel like they're both kind of paying a lot of money for what they already have. So know. I don't know what they're gonna do. I think the Knicks kind of blew their shot a little bit this year.
I was gonna say, what do you think the Knicks would even need? Because their starting five is pretty good. Their bench is pretty good. Like I don't know, like this had to have been their year, unless they come back down 3-1, which
Yeah,
I highly doubt. But then they'd have to come back down 3-1, which means extra games played, and then go out and beat the Thunder after that. So they they've exhausted all of their chances for this year.
I love Josh Hart, but I do think they could maybe upgrade the starting two if they're gonna do something. I think the rest, I don't know, B. I think super good. Towns is good. Brunson's good. Bridges is good, although he could be playing a little better. But yeah, I think Hart's really good, but he doesn't necessarily need to be a starter to do what he does. Like I think he could just be a good six man.
Yeah,
And maybe
he's not looked great this
no, he
series
hasn't
either.
looked
His
that great.
effort is good, but his like
Yeah, I think maybe having another like a better shooter at the two or something, maybe like a little higher score. But
he's playing on average 35 minutes, and his highest he scored is 12 points.
yeah, he's a good. I feel like he could be more in the Caruso type. It's like he comes in off the bench. Sometimes he plays 32 minutes. Sometimes he plays 20
Yeah,
minutes. Um,
Yeah.
he's not taking more than 6 shots, so that's part of it, I think. But
yeah,
that could also be like scheme, like they're not giving
yeah,
him enough they're not asking him anything of him.
But also Josh Hart isn't really a shooter. He's more of that small
Mm-hmm.
ball guy that can rebound like crazy. Like he's second on the team in rebounds just behind Cat.
Yeah,
Like I
that's
agree with
true.
you, Seth. Like him coming off the bench as like that spark plug with Deuce McBride, that would be great. But yes, I would agree. They definitely need a better starting two, even if it's just like a catch and shoot type player. Like not necessarily defense because you've got OG, you've got Bridges. Like you're good on the defensive end. You just need that extra person to take that shot.
How about
Clay Thompson. Just
oh,
kidding.
you can say random segue. How about Josh Hart for Michael Porter Jr.?
Sounds like a terrible trade for the Knicks. The Nuggets, that would
Yeah,
probably help them quite a bit,
you
but
think?
terrible for the Knicks.
I don't know if
I
he
think you
would
guys need
need
a
Hart.
small forward though, because I think Brown's too similar to
Yeah,
Hart.
I just I don't know. I was like, you're saying you need another shooter, and I want to get rid of mine. So
Okay, here's a crazy one. Contractually would not work out.
sure,
As a
KD.
Suns fan, I would be
I did.
completely distraught. But Devin Booker to the Knicks, I think would probably help them out exactly how they need. Again, contractually wouldn't work, I'm sure.
I think they'd have
But
to trade you guys one of their starters. So I don't know
Mikal
if it
Bridges
would
come back.
Bridges
No,
and a bunch of picks or something. I don't know.
I thought you were gonna say KD.
No, I don't think that would help the Knicks that much.
Yeah, I think they just need that position. It's that guard, that other guard.
Yeah,
Like I feel like a Norman Powell would
that would
be.
probably be really good, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, that dude is a flamethrower.
Yeah. Is he still in contract with the? Is he a free agent or is he still
Yeah,
like? I don't know.
That's honestly such a shame that the Clippers didn't go farther because they would have been really interesting to watch.
no, I disagree.
Yeah. Playoff Harden though. Game 7 Harden never. He never comes through.
No, he does
Nope.
not.
Too bad. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
gonna be
Powell is a free agent after 25-26.
okay. So
So we got
next
one
year.
more year left.
So he's
Well,
got
they
one
might
more.
trade him though if they don't think they're gonna re-sign him. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, him not getting that All Star nod saved them a lot of money, though,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? Because wouldn't he have been owed more?
Is it All Star or if it's All NBA?
I think it's both depending on
Maybe
the
it's both.
contract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because you could be an all-star without making all NBA, which is ridiculous. But
Kawhi is going to make 100 million over the next 2 years.
bro's probably going to
That's
play like a quarter of that,
that's
if that.
crazy.
Yeah. I'm worried this was his like last healthy playoff ever. I was so surprised he was healthy this playoff. Like I haven't seen it
He
in
looks
so
so
long.
good.
Oh my
He
Yeah.
god,
looks
he's
so
playing.
good. He looks so
Yeah,
good
he's
against
still
the
good.
Nuggets.
But yeah.
That was terrible. I hated seeing that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, let me pull up the Timberwolves. Yeah, because they're locked in for the next. Ant is locked in till 8-9.
Oh yeah,
He's
he's
there for a
there
while.
forever. But
And McDaniels is the same. Gobert they have till 26, 27, and he's making 35, then 36 mil. Oh no, 27, 28, and he's making 28. 38, sorry. But he has the player option 27, 28. I
he'll
wouldn't be
take.
surprised if he leaves.
Uh,
But I mean, nah, maybe not. I don't know. He's so expensive, and he'll be what?
yeah,
He'll be 36 then.
yeah. I think he'll just take the money.
Yeah, but yeah, they got Randall for another year.
Yeah, I don't know what they do. They're kind of just. I feel like they thought this was gonna get them to the finals. I mean, there might be some free agent point guard out there that's good enough to at least give them a little bit of a boost.
Yeah, I mean they have to have the same team next year.
Nas Reed might leave though. Is he a free agent?
He is a free
So
agent.
that
His
would be
play
a loss.
option.
Yeah, that would be a loss.
I mean, he could go a lot of places though. He could make more
Oh
than
yeah.
15 million. He's earned it.
Oh yeah. He'll leave, I think. Or either they're gonna give him a big raise or I feel like he would leave.
I wouldn't
You
mind
know
him.
who else?
I'd
You
take
know
him.
who else is a free agent? Nikhil is also a free agent. So
Yeah.
the Timberwolves could potentially lose one of their players. I don't think they lose both, but I think if they lose Nikhil, that'll be a huge hit for them for their second unit.
Yeah. I think Seth's onto something though. I could definitely see them losing Nas Reed. If I were him, I would leave. The 2 years done the same thing. Go get the bag. Go somewhere else.
Yeah. See him going to like some team with just a ton of money that just wants to like a younger like the Bulls or like just kind of give him a bigger role.
Nas Reed to the Hornets. Help or hurt?
Hurts him because he's on the Hornets. But
Yeah.
I guess helps the Hornets a
Art,
little.
good luck on your career, buddy.
Yeah.
Hang out with Nurkic.
Oh my gosh, I forgot Nurkic was
Oh
on.
my, he's on there now.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
They have Gibson,
Oh
Mark
my.
Williams, and Nurkic. They have three centers.
They're kind of like the Wizards, where the Wizards have all these like random vets that are just like on the team. Middleton's just on the Wizards, which is really depressing. But
They they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They have 9 players that they're paying out dead money to next year. Why? What did you guys do? They're literally paying Reggie Jackson $2 million to not play for them.
there's a reason the worst teams are the worst teams, you know?
Yeah.
You know, I'm looking at these free agent guards. He's a restricted free agent, and he's probably re-signing. But Josh Giddey's going to be a free agent. Probably stays.
I would think they're
But
going to give him a huge
huge
contract.
bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was killing it after All-Star break.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with like 3 half-court shots in a row to win the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
No offense, Seth. I know that's a sore
That's
subject.
fine. But yeah, he was like averaging like a triple-double or something.
Yeah. That was crazy.
Yeah. There's not a lot of big name guards per se that are in free agency, but
Jamal?
is Jamal supposed to be a free agent?
No, but I've
Oh.
I've seen a lot of trade talk with him.
Who do you get in return though? That's the question.
I just who's taking his 47 mil though?
I'll
I
take
don't
it.
think he's worth $47 million.
Give us
Not without
we'll give you
Jokic.
Kevin Durant.
Porter's
you
not
Kevin
worth
Durant.
$40 million, and that's what he's making.
That's the one they'd want to trade is Porter, but that also like who's taking that contract?
The fact that Aaron Gordon makes almost half of what Porter makes is crazy. That's crazy.
I'll take Porter and Jamal Murray off your hands for Kevin Durant and Bol Bol. You're welcome.
Did you see the Christian Bronze trade that they're whispering about?
Mm-mm.
3 years, 60. Like
To who?
for
To us?
Braun. No, they're gonna pay him 20
Oh,
million a year.
I think that's pretty decent for how he's been
Yeah.
playing.
That's just
It
that
just
just
locks
like
you guys.
it just
Yeah.
locks us like that gives. So next year we're gonna be paying Yoke 55, Jamal 47, Michael Porter 40, Gordon 23, and Braun 20. Like that's it, man. That's not gonna give us any depth.
You
Yeah. You
resign
guys are gonna have
Russ.
to. Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Who's the biggest threat to OKC in the West next year? Is there anyone? I'm like, we're just going through all these teams that aren't able to do anything. Is it the? I mean,
I mean, you said this last year, Seth. You said like if they kind of figured stuff out and without injuries, you thought like this could be a dynasty. Like this could be the Spurs. And
yeah,
I agree. If they won like 3 championships in 5 years, I wouldn't be surprised at all. I don't think they'll go back to back. They might
yeah,
go one time back to back, but it's so hard to go back to back.
yeah. It's really hard.
I just think they're just going to win every other year.
So is it Giannis to the Spurs or no big threat?
Yeah,
Giannis to the
Giannis
Spurs.
goes to
I
the
don't
Spurs
know.
100%. If they can keep Fox, healthy Wemby, and Giannis,
that'll be it.
they're the threat that takes out OKC.
And I think they need to go for. I was telling someone else this. I don't know, some other person I was talking to about basketball, and I was like, I feel like the Spurs need to treat Wemby like he's 28, not like he's 21 or whatever. Like act as if like his prime could be right now. You don't know how long he's gonna play. Like just go for it. Like imagine that you have to win right now. And so I hope they do a Giannis trade. I don't know what the contracts would be. I don't. I'm not great at that stuff, but like. I know they have assets. I know they have picks. Go for it. See what happens. I think they're kind of ready. Like I think Wemby's already ready to do it. Fox is in his prime. Castle's gonna be really good next year. I feel like.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know.
I The only thing that I think would kind of prevent them is they don't have a backup center right now. I mean, who do they have on their roster? 3 guys' names
Yeah.
that like they have Charles Bassey
Yeah.
and then Sandro. I'm not gonna even say his last name. Mama Kusalevi and Bismarck Biombo.
Classic.
Yeah,
Suns legend.
yeah. Chris Paul's a free agent. I bet he would. I bet he's done.
One more year.
No, I think he would have announced it already, I think,
Yeah.
if he was thinking about it. Yeah. He's got one
I
more.
mean, I would if I were him, I would just go back to the Spurs for a year. I mean, or just wait and see if they make the honest trade and then decide to stay or not. Um, but
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean the Spurs. That's a great point. They have a lot of assets. They have a lot of young guys. They almost have too much young talent. Like they could kind of
yeah,
just ship a guy off to the Bucks because the Bucks are trash.
yeah. No, the only thing
This-
that'd be scary is if they have because they might. I wonder if the Bucks would say they need Castle to trade Giannis, and I just feel like Castle's gonna be a star.
Mhm.
But I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. Like, there's always gonna be
Yeah.
risk. But I feel like that might be the only guy that they could trade that's worth that much. Like he's. They also do have that number 2 pick though. I guess they could trade the 2 pick and
The
then keep.
mock trade that I just looked up would be Harrison Barnes, Keldon Johnson, the number 2 pick, and a 2020 second first to the Spurs for or to the Bucks for Giannis.
It's not bad.
Not bad. I mean,
If I'm the Bucks though,
Unless they can,
you're done, right? Like
yeah.
regardless. So
You already
you
traded
yeah,
Middleton.
yeah.
You got old Brook
yeah,
Lopez. You got Portis, dwindling Dame. Yeah, you got to get what you can.
yeah. Number 2 pick, not bad. It's a pretty good draft, I think. I mean, they might want. Yeah, I feel like they would demand. They would try to get the second pick and Castle, and the Spurs would probably be like, no.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But that's not the worst trade. I mean, they're not going to get much better than that, I feel like.
I think though they could probably finesse a way to not have to give up Castle. I don't know what they would give up, but I think there would be a way where they could figure it out.
add in a few more picks, maybe, or like swaps or whatever they do to try
Hmm.
to. Yeah, because the number two pick's worth a lot. I mean, that's a good asset.
Especially in this draft, like I feel like there's a lot of like you could easily get a top five player in 2029 in this
Mhm.
draft.
Yeah, I think that'd be interesting. I don't know what other teams even have the assets. Probably OKC because they have like 10 billion draft picks, but they don't need to. Don't please, please NBA, don't let that
No.
I think they'd only have to trade iHeart for the contracts to line up,
happen.
but then it's just picks galore after that. That would make them 5 for 5, I think.
They would then it would just be the whole debate would just be so KD Warriors or okay,
Giannis
Giannis
Thunder.
OKC. Like there's no other point. Like
No.
there's no other teams that would ever beat them. It wouldn't even matter anymore.
I'd stop. I probably wouldn't watch.
Yeah,
All right.
that would be the end of the podcast.
Yeah,
They can veto, right?
I think it would. I don't know. It's complicated. I think it would be hard for them to veto because the only reason that happened with the Lakers with the Chris Paul one was because the NBA owned the Hornets at the time. So I don't know if like I'm not sure if like they could beat it. I guess they probably could, but there might not be a good enough reason. The Bucks would probably be like, "No, we want all these picks. Like we think this is good for us."
Yeah.